Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball.
Friday, May 22nd at 7 p.m. it's Scout Night. This $16 ticket includes Ferry Hawks Special Edition 2026 Scout Patch. And for just $25 more, it's a Scout sleepover and breakfast the next morning. And post-game, all kids glow around the bases. Saturday, May 23rd at 1 p.m., it's Matinee Baseball. And Sunday, May 24th at 1:30 p.m., Matinee Baseball.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats. Cats and Cosby, entertaining and informative
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Do we have on the phone
yes, we do.
Our friend Brian Kilmeade?
Yeah, so let's go to breaking news about the primaries and then bring in Brian Kilmeade.
Breaking news, WABC.
And joining us now is our friend Brian Kilmeade, of course, host here on 77 WABC and Fox News, the guy who never sleeps, who also is, I saw your tour schedule, Brian. I was like, oh my goodness, you're going to sleep even less, my friend, but congrats. So tell us about the primaries. We're calling it the power of Trump.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. Personally, I like Senator Bill Cassidy. You know, I'm not the one he tried to impeach, so I'm not going to put myself in Trump's shoes. But, you know, he voted for it. If other people had joined him, Trump would have been barred from serving. I don't think that would have helped the country. But everything else about Cassidy, being a doctor, being a well-researched, even-tempered guy, but the president drummed him right out. Not only did he not win the primary, he came in third. And for a sitting senator, and then the other big story is Massey. Now, I feel just the opposite about Massey. It's like every person, I believe you go in and fight like Chip Roy. Chip Roy has a belief, and he goes and fights, and he goes at it. And then says, okay, what's possible? How many votes do I have? Now, what else can I get in this? And then at the end of the day, he's trying to get things done. Massey's just there. He might as well be in a think tank. And anything, he went from, okay, I'm a libertarian, nobody agrees with me, I'm just going to vote the way I want, to I live to be anti-Trump. He's like the type of guys, the Republicans they book on CNN that just hate Trump, and they pretend that they're balancing out their panel. Meanwhile, they're not. They're just got a guy there that says I'm a Republican and everything Trump does is wrong. So Massey's comment at the end, Reed, I don't know if you played it, and John, when he said, I was going to call my opponent and congratulate him, but he was in Tel Aviv. That's a shot at the fact that he's pro-Israel and Tom Massey isn't. He blames Israel for everything. And I'm tired of that attitude as well.
Yeah, you know, what I noticed too, Brian, was throughout, in fact, in the last 24 hours, he was going after anybody with like a Jewish last name. I mean, he was going after Marian Adelson. He was going after, he's saying all this money, it's the Jewish people. It just was really unseemly. And to your point at the very end, the fact that he said that at the very end, he said, I have no regrets. I wouldn't do anything different. Too bad, basically. It was the wildest concession speech I think I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got $1 zillion. The guy, he's known as a brilliant guy. I think he's a physicist or something. That's I'm sure the degree is tough to acquire. But when he came to Capitol Hill, he was deranged. The fact that all of a sudden he has an interest in the Epstein files, come on, guys. Like, he cares. If he cared about the Epstein files, he would have brought it up when this guy Joe Biden was president, or Trump's first term, when Epstein was actually alive. Then you go, wow, I'm surprised he has an interest in that. But suddenly, because he thought he'd be able to nail Trump on that, he brings that up.
And Brian, he voted, I can't tell, and you know, too, I mean, so many times when there were major decisions, it was like the Democrats and Tom Massey. I mean, in a narrow House, it was destructive. You may not get what you want, but like we were just talking about earlier, you have to find some sort of compromise to move the agenda. He was purposely stonewalling, and that's disastrous in a very narrow margin, especially when the other side is often something so crazy.
Guys, the other thing is, I don't agree with the president to go for Ken Paxton. I mean, to me, John Cornyn's a classy guy. The gun reform is minor gun reform. It means check out before you let a veteran get a gun. Make sure they check out psychologically after the shooting at the church. People say he was for gun reform. No, he's not. He just wants to make sure that people, when they go to get a gun, just because you were in the military, doesn't mean you already make sure you're okay to carry. And I don't think, if you were in that church and got shot up, you might have felt the same way. So now they say Cornyn's got to go because he went on board with gun reform. But he is 99%, literally 99% with Trump. And he also is a guy that's a prolific fundraiser. He raised for him like $400 million. So now Cassidy and Cornyn and Tillis now are dead Republicans walking. and they just denied Trump his ballroom. Now they're putting together a reconciliation package without the ballroom in it, and that's not Trump's ballroom. That's the White House's ballroom. Trump's not going to get a chance to use it. John, you've been there more than anybody else. They need a ballroom. It's too small in there.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
now all of a sudden, Trump's getting denied it.
And by the way, and Brian, it's Richard Weinberg, and Cassidy now is voting on the War Powers Resolution.
Which means blocking the war.
So what he's done is he's alienated a whole bunch of Senate Republicans into leadership. That's going to be a problem for the next 6 months.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is, because he wants to get 2 reconciliation packages done. The war, I hope the president just goes in and finishes these stuff to the degree that he can, and don't worry about that part of it. But to get things done, look, Cassie's probably angry, so he's not going to give the president almost anything unless he is well liked by others, like Senator Thune. Maybe he likes them more than he's probably angry at Trump. But Tillis has been a thorn in the president's side ever since the president was getting on him, and now they're going to have trouble holding on to that seat because Cooper evidently is loved as a Democrat, is loved in North Carolina, and he is leading right now over Michael Whatley.
Yeah, this is going to be a mess as far as things go. Is there any sense that you think, Brian, now also, look, Andy Barr, he won.
Great move, yeah.
Right, great move. So there's some very good ones that are in the hopper. Yeah. And, getting back to, you keep talking about Paxton, too. The Tallarico guy, he came out and he said God is binary. And then he said that there are 6 sexes. I mean, so he's a very flawed candidate, but God help America if this guy gets in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's playing in life the perfect game. But Ken Paxton has got one scandal after another, and evidently they got a whole bunch more stuff on him. So, and they kept it. The Democrats are keeping their powder dry and to see if he wins. Now, Cornyn could still win, but he was trailing before Trump's endorsement. But let's say Ken Paxton gets forward. I'm hearing things about Cayman Island properties that nobody knows about, that he shouldn't be able to afford. I mean, you read some of this stuff. I talked to George Bush's team, and when they ran against him, and George P. Bush lost, but they said that people in Texas like the guy, but there's so much scandal around him, including an ugly divorce, and evidently his wife was extremely popular there. So it might be the perfect storm that allows a Democrat to win in Texas, which could cost him the Senate. Although I think they're going to flip the seat of Michigan, and I think they got a great shot at flipping the seat in New Hampshire because John Sununu's popular there.
Well, Brian Kilmeade, thank you for the update. Are you emotional about any other race right now?
I hope this mayor's race in Los Angeles has me so intrigued because Spencer Pratt is now within 8 points. And if he can get to the finals, win the semis in the primary the first week in June, and by the time we get to November, I think he'll be up on Karen Bass by 10, 15 points. And it'll make these Democrats take a real look at a real choice, not like morons like the ones who run Chicago and the ones who run currently in Los Angeles. And
you have to be extra stupid to run the nose. Brian Kilmeade, thank you so much for coming on, and keep your eyes open. And thank you for being on WABC Monday through Friday from 10 to 12.
And thank you for coming on Sunday at 10 o'clock. Watch John Catsimatidis take on socialism. You guys are going to love it on One Nation on Fox.
I can't wait. 2 of my favorite people in one place. That's great.
Thank you so much.